When Notion Calendar was released, it got a lot of hate for not being as impressive as it should have been. And I even contributed to some of that hatred. I had been using Notion Calendar, which was previously known as Cron, for a long time, so I was hoping for this huge reveal and all these new features, and it just was a little underwhelming. However, since that launch, Notion has added a ton of functionality to their calendar, and now I truly love the app. And today I'm going to show you some of the cool tricks and tips that you can use to make the most out of Notion Calendar. So let's jump straight in. So I am in my Notion account right now. I'm going to show you how to add your Notion calendar to your existing Notion account. So if you're on the home page here in Notion, you're going to want to make sure that the upcoming events widget is showing on here. It should be showing by default, but just in case it isn't, you can change that setting here in the right-hand corner. Now, if you've never connected a Notion calendar before, this is what it's going to look like. Currently, they can only connect to Google Calendar, but they are working on more functionality very soon. You may even have it already as they unroll it for some people. So we're going to choose to connect it to Notion Calendar. All right, we're going to allow access to the Notion account, and now we have the calendar. So this is going to tell us about a few of the features up front, such as being able to see meetings in Notion Home, a fully featured calendar from Notion, and connecting to your Notion workspace. You can click Learn More to get into some of the tutorials, but I'm going to hit Get Started and walk you through some of those myself. So there is a desktop app, and I do have that downloaded with my own personal calendar, but for now we're just going to use the web version. You can also enable the event notifications, so it'll notify you in browser, and then you can connect additional calendar accounts from Google. And like I said, they will be adding Microsoft Calendar soon. You can also connect different conferencing options, so you can add Zoom if you have that, or if you have a custom link, you can add that in as well. By default, your Google Calendars will be connected based on the Google Calendar you have in your account. Just like any other calendar, you can also edit some of the general settings, such as when the week actually starts, if you want to see weekends, and if you want to see declined events on your calendar. One of my favorite features from Notion Calendar is the availability sharing. So you can share blocks of time with your coworkers and let them know what availability you have for different meetings. So we can now copy the scheduling link and they can choose to schedule an event with me. So let's just copy the scheduling link here. And the scheduling link looks a lot like the Calendly interface in my opinion, but they can click on the different dates and see the times available to them and then put in their email to actually schedule that meeting. If you are part of an organization that shares emails, such as at Nora Conrad, you can also see your other team members' calendar overlaid with yours when scheduling meetings with others. So it'll show you if they're available or not based on their shared calendar as well. You can also set up quick meetings to start a quick call. For example, let's make a meeting with myself, and you can choose the Google Meet, which will be the default, or you can connect your Zoom like I previously said. You can also choose if you want to auto add one of those meeting links in the future, which I'm going to select auto add. Adding a location is pretty standard, but you can also add in links directly from Notion. So instead of just pasting a Google Doc link, you can link it with a Notion page, for example, end of month tasks. So here is our meeting, and now both myself and the person that I shared the meeting with can see the end of month tasks page that we have linked to. Notion Calendar also has a command menu available with Control-K that will open up all these shortcuts for you to quickly add events or just open up additional features, such as time zones. Time zones is super helpful if you are working with a team that is across the country. You can add multiple time zones into this structured area so that you can see up to 4 time zones on the left-hand side. You can also change your primary time zone and update the label that you are seeing for each one of these. There are a ton of keyboard shortcuts available in this app, and it's really helpful to start to learn some of it because it makes it so intuitive to navigate through the app itself. You can obviously add on additional calendar accounts, but you can also add in additional databases. So let's say our Instagram feed, for example. Let's go to our Instagram feed database within our Notion account and show a few examples. So let's change the San Francisco one to be scheduled for 2024. And now when we go back to our calendar, we can see the San Francisco database line up here at the top. We can see what database it's related to and the date that is associated with that. And we could choose to open it up in Notion to view that item. This can be really great if you're someone who plans content or events right in Notion, because now it can just live on your Notion calendar along with everything else. You can also easily hide or view each of your databases as you choose. You can also add in additional Notion accounts. So if you have a personal Notion and a work Notion, you can add both of those accounts to this one calendar. Okay, so let's go back into Notion now and see what some of these tasks look like on our homepage. So we have this upcoming events section, which gives us a really beautiful view of some of these tasks and events that we just created. So on Monday, we can see this San Francisco post that we have from our database down here. And if we click on it, it will open up our Notion calendar to see that event in line in our calendar. A similar thing happens when we click on events from the upcoming events table. Here we go. And now, of course, we can click back and forth to go to the page that we're referencing for our event. You can also see the page that you're referencing right in line within our upcoming events tab. So if you're just viewing this from the Notion page, you can click on that page and it opens up right here for you. So you could start to edit or add in any notes that you need to directly from this page. There's also a quick link to join the meeting once that meeting begins. And when you click that, it'll open up in your chosen web browser and start your meeting. Now, you may have noticed that when we added in our Instagram Planner database, it showed only the Instagram Planner popping up. And that's because this has a calendar view built into the database. You didn't see your end of month tasks popping up as an option. So in order to get this to show up on our calendar, all we have to do is add in a calendar view. So once this calendar view is added, we can go back to our Notion calendar here, and we can add in another database. And now we can see our end of month task log within our calendar. So if you're having a hard time locating a certain database, just make sure that you have added that calendar view to your database so that it can be added into Notion Calendar appropriately. And here's our task list, just like the previous one. Now we have all of our databases connected to Notion Calendar and we can see them all in here together. The homepage in Notion Calendar allows you to pop open Notion Calendar itself, but you can also add some customization. These settings allow you to see which calendars are popping up in app. You can either mirror the calendar app, so any changes made in the Notion Calendar app itself will be made here, or you can set up a custom view by not showing things like holidays or not showing the databases that you may have already added below. You can also choose how many events are populating here. So if you only want to see today's and tomorrow's, you can customize those all the way up to 1 week out. You can also choose if you want to see all day events or if you want those hidden from the calendar view, and events without participants or without any conferencing. There's a lot you can do in here, and there's so many cool ways to connect all of this together, especially if you're working with a team or working with multiple databases. So let me know what your favorite Notion Calendar features are, and check out our Creator Essentials playlist for more ideas like this one. We'll see you in the next one.